Hello everyone. So today we'll be continuing our discussion on functions. We talked about it last time where we had said we learned what functions are, and today we'll be focusing on how to solve problems related to functions. So with that said, let's get started. We'll start off here with our question one that we see here. Also remember, I'll go a little fast in this particular session, only because I do want to cover a few things. I definitely like to show you how you have to solve these questions in the SAT. So the speed has to be maintained here. All right, so with that said, let's get started. So our first question says f of x is 2x minus 5. What's the value of f of 2 plus f of 5? Pretty simple here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll just have to reduce my depth here. All right, so f of 2 plus f of 5 is the question. F of 2 is 2 times 2 minus 5, which is 2 times 2 minus 5. And that would become negative 1. That's 4 minus 5 or negative 1. If I look at f of 5, remember we only substitute whatever is in the input with the output here. So if I look at f of 5 and I substitute the 5, I get 2 times 5 minus 5, in this case 10 minus 5, and this is equal to just 5. And when I add the 2 up, I get my answer as 4. Alright, we'll move to the next question, number 2 on the screen. Here it is, h of x is 3x plus 5, h of a is 27, then what's the value of a? Again, remember, whenever you have an input, here a is your input. It substitutes all the x's by the a. So in this case, h of a would equal 3a plus 5. But that's also equal to 27, which means 3a is equal to 22. And that means a is 22 thirds. Moving on to the next question, we're trying to find f of a plus b in this question. We have f of x equals 4x minus 3, f of a is 9, f of b is 5. So first let's work with f of a. F of a equals 9, but it also equals 4a minus 3. Remember, we substitute the x with 3, and we say that's equal to 9, which means 4a is equal to 12, or a is equal to 3. We do the same thing for f of b, and we say that's equal to 4b minus 3, which is equal to 5, which means b is equal to 2 when you solve it. Now we're looking for f of a plus b. F of a plus b, we have that as the same as f of 3 plus 2 or f of 5. And if I substitute the 5 in here, if I substitute the 5 in my equation here, I'm going to get 4 times 5 minus 3 or 20 minus 3, and that gives me my answer as 17. I hope that makes sense. This is a very common question in the SAT. People most of the times they just add 9 and 5 to get the 14, but that's not correct. F of a plus b, you have to find what a and b are. You have to add them up and then find out what actual number are you trying to find the value for in the function. With number 4, so we'll take a look at number 4 now. F of x is x squared minus 1, f of 2a is 35. Again, now in this case, f of 2a, again, a very common mistake in the SAT that people make is they write it as 2a squared. That's not correct. It's 2a the whole squared because the whole of x is being substituted by 2a minus 1, which means f of 2a is 4a squared minus 1. And that's also equal to 35 as per the question, which means a squared is equal to 9, or a is plus or minus 3. In this case, the option is minus 3, so we're going to go with minus 3. At this point, we have been maintaining a speed of at least 1 question per minute, and that's what you really need to do in the SAT. Again, a very similar question. Let's do this one a little faster. F of 4 and f of 6. When I substitute 4, I get 8 plus 4 or 12. When I substitute 6, I get 12 plus 4 or 16. The sum is 28. 2x plus 4 is 28, which means x is equal to, in this case, f of 4 plus f of 6 is 28. Now, the reason I said 2x plus 4 is 28 is I want to find that x which will give me that value of 28. That's what the options are looking for here. When I substitute, when I solve this equation, I get 2x is 24 or x is 12, which means when I input the value of x as 12, I'll get the output of 28, which is also the same as the output of f of 4 plus f of 6. I hope this question makes sense. Let's move on to the next one. That's number 6 here. We are told that z of u plus half. So again, very important. Z of u plus half, you remove the whole q and substitute it with u plus half. In this case, u plus half is your input. So instead of q, I would say u plus half. Don't forget the parentheses. The parentheses are the most important part, because if you write it for u plus a half outside of the parentheses, that's going to be wrong. We're substituting the whole q, and the whole q is multiplied with 4. So that's why the whole u plus half has to be multiplied with 4. And we still have that 1/2. This is the 1/2 that comes here, and the q as a whole substitutes by u plus half. If I just expand this, that's 4u plus 2 plus half, which is 4u plus 2.5, and according to the question, it's also equal to 0.5 or a half. I'm going to write 0.5 here. So for u, then when I solve it, becomes -2, or u is equal to a -half. That becomes my answer. All right, so let's move on to the next question. That's number 7. Again, if there are any questions on how I'm solving these problems, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll definitely go over it in more detail as needed. All right, so I'm going to change my color to blue on this one. So n heart is defined by 2n times n plus 1. What is the value of 8 heart over 2 heart? Again, very important. All you have to do is substitute the n with the number they're asking in the question. So in this case, this is 2 times 8 plus 1 divided by 2 times 2 plus 1. So in this case, that's equal to, on the top, 16 times 9, on the bottom, 4 times 3. 4 goes into 16 4 times. You don't have to do the full multiplication. Try to simplify your ratios. 3 goes into 9 3 times, which means this answer is 12. Now the question is asking, how do you get 12 if you substitute one of these numbers? The easiest way to find out, either you can absolutely just substitute the number. So if I say when I put in 2 instead of n, that's option A, I get 4 times 3 or 12. So that works out. I know that for sure. If I put in 4, you'll see that the answer comes out to be about 40. If you put in 6, you'll see the answer comes out to 84, and then it just keeps increasing. So I automatically know with this that my answer is 2, because when I substitute the 2, I get my 12 back. All right, so that's number 7. And finally, we'll be doing the last question of this lesson, which is number 8. For the function f graphed in the xy plane above, if f of -2.5 is k, then what is the value of f of 2k? So first of all, remember, this is the x value. That's the input. So we'll go to the x-axis and plot out -2.5. It's right here. The value at -2.5 is +1, which means f of -2.5, this is the x value, equals the y value, which is 1. And so k is equal to 1. Now if we are finding f of 2k, which is f of 2 times 1, we are essentially finding f of 2. So go back to where the input is 2, which is on the x-axis. Where is the value 2? Right here. And at that point, what's the y value? It's equal to 0. So this is my x value, this is my y value. That's what I mean when I say input and output. X is my input, y is my output. So in this case, the answer is going to be 0. So I hope all of this makes sense. If there are, again, any questions, please feel free to leave them on the comments. If you need me to cover any other topic, again, please leave it on the comments. And if you like the videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll post more videos on the channel. Thank you.